He's one of the longest-serving senators in U.S. history. And after 48 years in office, Vermont's Patrick Leahy is retiring. He took some time to reflect on his decades of service with our Robert Costa.
There's an inscription on the side of the Dirksen Senate office building, and it reads, "The Senate is the living symbol of our Union of States." Is it?
The Senate should be the conscience of the nation.
Is the Senate failing now?
The Senate has become so bitterly divided on things that they shouldn't be divided on. Will all senators now rise and raise their right hand?
Political divisions are the bookends to the long career of Vermont Democratic Senator Patrick Leahy.
This is not the swamp. I think this is where democracy can be and should be.
Now 82 and retiring at the end of this term, Leahy was sent to Washington in the wake of Watergate, an idealistic 34-year-old prosecutor.
You're elected in 1974, a Watergate baby. Now you're about to leave the Senate after an attack on the U.S. Capitol. What does that say to you?
Part of it says to me, have we learned something? Does anybody read a book on history? January 6th shook me to the core because I thought back to the really wonderful men and women I've served with over all these years in both parties who would not have stood for this.
For his new memoir, published by Simon & Schuster, part of CBS parent company Paramount Global, Leahy plays off the title of the Robert Frost poem, The Road Not Taken. Indeed, United States Senator was an unlikely career path for the young attorney, and when Leahy arrived in Congress, he intended to keep his head down. Not easy when you stand 6'2".
You really wanted to blend into the background most of the time.
Oh, I did. I sat in the first caucus. I came in, I sat way in the back row against the wall. The next thing I knew, Hubert Humphrey, Scoop Jackson, a couple other very senior ones come in and sit beside me. They said, "Boy, you learn fast." I said, "What do you mean?" "Well, you sit here, so if it gets boring, you can sneak out when anybody's seeing you."
One, I'd like to have you read the report.
Leahy's no-nonsense approach endeared him to the old lions of the Senate. But his quiet composure has long hidden a crusader's zeal. Last year, when Chief Justice John Roberts declined to preside over Donald Trump's second impeachment trial, Leahy took on the task.
The nays are 43, and he is hereby acquitted of the charge in said article.
What would it have meant for the country if more Republicans had voted to convict Trump in that trial?
I think it would have helped the country. I don't say this was a partisan thing. It would have sent word to the country in the same way that Barry Goldwater and Hugh Scott told Richard Nixon, "You've broken the law, it's time to go." I wish more had been willing to stand up and say, this was wrong. They'd say it privately, we'll say it publicly.
There's no place where the public and private sides of politics come together more than in rooms like this. Leahy's so-called hideaway. Amid photos of his wife of 60 years, Marcelle, and their family, it's where senators brokered an end to the 2019 government shutdown.
I can just go ahead and take pictures.
And where Leahy can just be himself.
Just got him. I got your crew. In fact, I got
No, that's enough.
there, I got you.
Too close, too close.
An avid photographer, Leahy has lined the walls with photos of his home state.
I was born basically blind in one eye, and things that require depth perception, like baseball and whatnot, are more difficult. You only need one eye for photography.
The Vermont senator has another, far more unusual sideline.
You remind me of my father. I hated my father.
He's been a bit player in several Batman movies. A lifelong fan of the Caped Crusader, Leahy has spent his career working for Americans with little power of their own. The poor, the hungry, children, and victims of landmines. Though he is the fourth longest-serving senator in U.S. history, with the trappings of seniority to show for it, Leahy is the first of his family to have attended college. And he's not afraid to take the gloves off. He opposed all of Donald Trump's Supreme Court nominees.
Trump claims he has an absolute right to pardon himself, does he?
Taking particular umbrage during the Brett Kavanaugh hearings.
There were a lot of people who should have been questioned in this last round by the FBI, but the Trump White House said they couldn't.
What do you make of Senator Collins and Senator Manchin saying Justice Kavanaugh misled them during the confirmation hearing?
I was in that hearing. I wasn't misled. I believe the charges against him, and I believe that the White House stymied a full investigation. The FBI did not do a complete investigation. It was rushed through so you could not have a complete investigation, and it was a farce. But that's my view.
The Biden years have proven happier for Leahy, and though he is only 3 years older than the president, he's not advising Biden to follow suit and retire.
Should he run in 2024?
That's going to have to be his decision. If he does, I'll support him.
Because there is something about getting to a certain age where you start to maybe reflect about the crossroads of life.
Really? And when does that happen, Bob?
Well, you tell me, sir.
I gotta read the book, The Road Taken. I gotta find out when that time is.
Are you going to miss all of this?
I'm gonna miss this view. I've taken an awful lot of pictures.
As Patrick Leahy prepares to descend from his position of power in Washington, his thoughts turn to the next generation of leaders and to the young man he once was.
If you could go back to 1974 and tap the 34-year-old you on the shoulder and give him a little advice, what would you tell him?
I tell him things that look impossible aren't if you work hard enough at it. It's not going to be done with press releases and look how great I am. It's going to be done with just steady, careful work. But it can be done.